Everybody, good evening. Hope you guys are doing well. Sure that everybody can hear me okay. So whether you're on YouTube or we now have the option if you want to participate through Google Meets, you have to open Google Meets through Google Chrome, but I put the link on the YouTube video. So you can always retrieve the links from the YouTube videos. These are happening in real time, so it's not another recording. The recorded version of the class will be available here on the YouTube channel. But if you want to interact, you have the voice option and sharing the video if you would like to do that on Google Meet. So about 8 minutes until we start the practice. Use them out. Hi, Era. No, you can take the class on YouTube 100%. This is in addition to YouTube. We're trying to stream on two platforms at the same time. Some people want to be able to show their practice and then give that visual to the instructors. So I'm hearing quite a bit of the robot voice, though, on the microphone here. So I want to see if that's happening for everybody. Hi, Alberto. Let's try again. I think the two microphones may be messing with the frequency, so I'm going to just turn one of them off. Era, the YouTube video I just have kind of scrolled up above my head because I'm sitting close to the camera right now. I'm trying to get. Hey, you guys that are on, I know it's spotty with the microphone, so I'm actually going to cut off of the YouTube for a second, and I'm going to come back. Let's see how you guys are doing. Are you able to hear me okay? I see you. Yes, hi, Era. I just took that weird angle on the camera. Good. See, your phone is still having problems. Hey, let's see. Hey, anybody that's watching on the YouTube, can you let me know how it sounds? Good. Is that Era? Cool. I can hear you now because you're on the Google Meets too. So we're just doing it simultaneously. So here's the thing, you basically just want to be on one or the other because if you're on Google Meets, there's a little delay of the broadcast to YouTube, so then you'll get this echo thing going on. So just do one or the other. And again, the Google Hangouts is, or the Google Meets is just if, you wanted to share the practice that way. I think it might be even better than a vinyasa practice. And, the other day Sam was doing it. I could see her while I was practicing a way of guiding and teaching a little bit more specifically. So in Detox, obviously, we're just lying around and whatnot. So Alberto sounds good. Perfect. K Sue. K Sue, you going to try the Google Meets here? It's quite the setup we got going. I don't know if it's going to work in the long run, but I'm giving it a try. As some people have mentioned that they wanted to be able to see each other. You guys would be able to see each other as well. So it's not just me being able to see you, it's you all being able to see and practice with each other versus the YouTube cast things out when it's on YouTube, and that's how we are able to communicate. Oh, nice. Hey, Chopper. So it looks like everybody's on YouTube. I'm just going to let the other one stream anyways, just to see if it all works. And how's my audio one more time before we get started on YouTube? You guys able to hear me okay? Hi, Ross. And the other thing that I'm trying is to stream the YouTube video at 1080p, so HD quality on the YouTube video, which we haven't done during the quarantine and the pandemic. So that should be a much clearer video, but I fear that it could also be messing with the audio quality. And sometimes when you're getting that robot sound, it takes more processing speed for all of that obviously to be broadcast at a higher quality. That is That's doing okay. We're going to give it a go tonight. I know Jessica was having some problems with the audio in her class this morning, so bear with us while we continue to work this out. But again, we're just, trying to offer more as much as we can, as interactively as we can, as so many of us are practicing all over the world. And this is another way for us to share and to build this virtual online community that is becoming more and more real, by the day, as we're noticing. So let's start seated tonight. Got your stack, your yoga block. You say if you're having any streaming issues on your end, you could always lower the quality of the stream from your playback on YouTube. Just lower it to a lower quality if your internet is slow or you're getting any buffering, and that should help you keep a clean stream going and throughout your experience. But if we could put it out there at a higher quality, that might be nice too. Once you're seated, rest your hands onto your knees or onto your thighs, palms face down. You rest your head above your shoulders, and then you're welcome to come with me and close your eyes. And feel your body tonight as you land in this seat, and feel the energy that you're feeling as you land in this seat. And feel and recognize everything about this day. Every part of this day, anything you've gotten into, all the thoughts, physical activity, relaxation, whatever in today has been thus far. You recognize and acknowledge all of it. Trace that through your awareness as you begin to observe in your connection with the moment as we sit here right now. In part, we're always trying to change things and maneuver and manipulate things and so that we can be comfortable. It may seem when you get increasingly more uncomfortable, it's the more that you're trying to change and manipulate things and so that you can be, even the slightest bit comfortable. Detox practice, discomfort is so relevant to our lives. And so important, obviously, in a non-harming and a non-violent way that we allow ourselves and to show up in discomfort, things that don't necessarily feel great ourselves when we sit in this place. And so as I said earlier in this week, I admire all of you for making, especially in this way, especially in these poses, right, as we lie in them and sometimes cry in them for 5, 7, who knows how many minutes. You feel your lungs fill your chest. Take 3 deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, please. And you can your space. If you're sitting on a block or a stack, go ahead and remove it. And we're going to turn around to lie down onto our backs in Shavasana. And taking this mode of observation, everything that this day has been, inviting it all to the practice, all to the mat tonight. Once you lie down, legs straight, and relax the arms down by your sides. Make any adjustments, soften your neck, relax the muscles around your throat. If you have any questions, you'll hear me bring this up intermittently, maybe once every 7 to 10 classes. If you have any questions, please ask that question as you lie down onto your mat tonight, something you may be seeking to explore with a bit more clarity, or if you even just want to see the direction that it's going in. You can lay that question out here on your mat. If this is your first time joining us, the breath stays as natural as it can be. Zero manipulation or control in the breath work, and to intensify or to create or to make something of. And the breath that you're taking is loose and is natural as your breaths can be. Allow them to happen in that way. That may present comfort. Just when you think about allowing it to happen in a natural way. And let's keep the left leg where it is. Cross your right ankle over your left ankle. And so there's a little hook. The outside of your right heel hooks around the inside. And keep the leg straight with your right ankle crossed. And then take your arms over your head, please. And the weight of the heels could present, based on our practices lately, and some sensation into your outer right hip. And you find your way. If you need a little bit more, left hand connects to your right wrist, and then you can move your shoulders to the left. You want to feel it in the outer right thigh to the outer right hip. And once you find the sensation there, let's start to settle, soften, and relax. And so even when you realize and that there's many, many, many humans going through something similar, and we're all going to have our own interpretation. The way and yet a practice like Detox is a place in where we can all feel, this is not specific at all, and I understand that. Feel that we are relatively on the same page for a period of time. No matter where you've been, no matter where you live, what you look like, somehow this practice guides us into a place in where relatively it feels like we're on the same page. And consider for a moment how powerful, not only that is on this in practice right now, but if more people could join, participate, do something when you're doing nothing. And it's pretty much what's happening here. You may not even know how much you're actually doing by doing nothing. And these poses are great. If you've been doing other things as well and you've been building, muscle in your workouts, and this is going to increase the elasticity of the tissue, the connective tissue throughout your entire body. And so even as you build, you want to be able to move. You ever seen somebody that builds so much muscle you become immobilized? You can't lift your arms over your head because your shoulders are so muscular. Let's keep the body as it is. Take a few deep breaths and trace it, follow it. And line the breath into a part of your body where you feel more. And if you're holding on to a wrist over your head, you can start to release that. And shoulders come back first in square, and your arms down by your sides. And feel that, and then you can uncross your right leg and separate that heel back out. And so you're lying flat onto your back, arms by your sides, palms facing up. And return to Shavasana. You notice that it's not the same feeling. It's called the same thing, but it's not the same feeling. You're not in the same place as you were about 7 or 8 minutes ago, physically, mentally, or emotionally. building a relationship with space, everybody. Even though you're right here living on planet Earth, and all the attachments and all the connections and that we are afforded here on planet Earth, you're building a relationship with space. Keep your right leg where it is. And let's cross the left ankle all the way over your right ankle. So outside. And the left heel hooks to your right ankle. And if you just let that slide, then you should start to feel it in your outer left hip, and then take your arms over your head. And this may be plenty if you're already feeling it in your outer. This may be plenty. If you'd like a little bit more, right hand grabs your left wrist, and then set the shoulders over to the right. Head and shoulders come back down. And draw yourself back as you feel your next breath. And shoulders back square. And you can release the wrist, let your arms come back down by your sides. Once your arms land, uncross your left ankle from your right. And then notice when you let your big toes fall out, they're probably going to fall out a little bit more freely now. As you loosen the outer hip flexors, relax the bum. Deep relaxation through your belly. And you're welcome to close your eyes here. And take your next breath, bend your legs so that your feet are flat. Bring your right ankle onto your left thigh, so you four shape with your right leg. And then just reach your arms, and so that your hands can rest over top of your right shin. And shoulders stay heavy if you can. If the hands won't connect to the shin, you're welcome to use a little towel, wrap it around your shin, and then hold on to the towel. Without lifting your low back, lift your left foot. And keep the hands on the shin and let them add this weight. And so it's like down, shin in towards you. And the hands resting are just to keep the hips down as your left foot floats off the ground. And with your left heel hovering, squeeze it in towards your bum as close as you can. Feel your left toes come down onto the mat. And without moving the foot, slowly bring the left heel down onto the mat as well. And keep your left hand on your right ankle. And we're going to roll the hips over to the left. So your legs stay in this position. You're on the outer edge of your left foot. And you may or may not get there tonight. At some point, and the sole of your right foot is flat on the mat. Right knee still pointing up. And then you can take your right arm out in any position, and that helps you counterbalance. It's a little different than a rolling twist when you turn the knee over your chest. When you keep the knee up, eventually your right foot comes flat, and you should feel that around your glute med and through your hip flexors and the tissue in your outer thigh. Of course, therefore, you may feel it in your knee. All good. Let's keep the legs supported in the figure four. Left hand remains on the shin as we start to roll the pelvis back to center. Feeling as your sacrum lands, brief pause. And then watch this as you slide your right foot up the left leg, off the knee, and then take your right leg back down onto the mat, please, straight. And you watch the journey of the flow going into your right leg. And so the sole of your foot is nice and flat to the ground. Relax the toes. Close the eyes, be still in the rebound. Take a nice deep breath, fill your lungs, expand your chest. Sigh, exhale, release all the air. And bring your right foot back onto the mat. It might feel nice to bend that leg, bring your foot down flat. And then bring your left ankle onto your right thigh, so it's like a figure four shape. Keep your hips heavy, reach your hands on the top of your left shin. Fingers curl over the front of the shin. And use that, keep your hips down, and then float your right foot off the ground. And so the hands are adding a weight from the top to the bottom versus pulling the shin in towards you. Now that right foot that is hovering, start to bring the heel in closer to your bum. Point to set this up, and your right toes touch the ground. Keep the foot there, let the heel come down onto the ground. And once you're set with that right heel, make sure the jaw is soft, the breath is relaxed. And the right hand stays on the ankle. And slowly start to turn the pelvis, and so you're on the outer edge of your right foot. And your left foot eventually, it may not at first. You can also put part of your stack underneath your foot so it has something to touch. But eventually your left foot comes flat onto the mat and the knee is pointing straight up. And let's just say there's a to our hip flexors. And they do a lot. It's a very repetitive part of the body. In order for you not to repeat or live life on repeat, we'd love to have some familiarity, but also appreciate the discomfort of the unknown, the brand new, something you've never done before. These things may appear when you get into a practice and where you're breaking down repetition. You don't think of it as like my body is tight and it's, oh, my body. Think of it like is such a beautiful body and to do what it does. And when I feel what it has to offer me, that simple practice deepens my awareness of my entire being and therefore of all beings. As I mentioned at the beginning of the practice, if there is a question, and what this practice invites us to do is to start taking a look inside, as you may have spent years, if not at least months, looking for things outside, but probably in most cases we spend years, and then one day you make a turn. You may not know why you make the turn. Nobody before you that you know maybe has made the turn, but one day you make the turn. And once you make the turn and you start to look inside, you'll never turn around. You'll never go backwards. It's a great way to sustain confidence, and because if you think about why we lose confidence, it's because we feel like we've gone the wrong way, we've turned around, we've lost our stride, something isn't going our way. But you're learning here tonight, all of that can be the case, and you can still realize confidence, peace, loving kindness, and awareness. Hopefully you're feeling it, and so that you can watch and the discomfort Emerge with the space and expand yourself even further. Slowly start to bring your hips back. As your hips come back to center, uncross your left leg. And let's release that left leg out straight. Keep your right leg bent so you can focus and absorb and receive the properties of the release on your left side. Then go ahead and fill your belly, fill your chest, feel the breath. Slowly bend your left leg so both feet are flat onto the mat. And then take your left arm up over your head, roll onto your left side. Pause there in the fetal position. Feel another breath. Watch where it goes in your body. Hopefully you're feeling pretty good, loosening in through your outer. Use your right hand. Come around to all fours, please. And once we get to our hands and knees, keep the head heavy. If you have a yoga block or part of your stack, bring it up to the top of your mat. And lean to the left. Step your right foot to the outside of your stack. Once you're here, we're going to broaden the stance. So your left knee can go out a little bit wider, and then your right toes and can turn out more on like a 45-degree angle. And you're welcome to start with your arms straight and your palms down. Just take as much muscle out of it as you possibly can. And so rather than having your right knee pointing straight forward, you have it pointing out. And like if you were to draw a diagonal line off the right shoulder. We're utilizing all the space that we've created through your outer hips and to work deeper through your inner hamstring, your inner thigh. And so you're welcome to stay on your hands, or you can come down onto your forearms on a block on your stack. And leave yourself some room so we're not going as deep as we can right away. You know, we're in these positions for a good amount of time. And so make any adjustments and so that you can be as still as you possibly can here. And head drops, tongue to release. And certainly, as we talked about arriving in the discomfort, that may be more relevant now than any other point in this practice thus far. I encourage you, if you are uncomfortable, to show up in it, to be in a place and where you can pronounce the natural ability that you have to breathe without changing that breath in any way, without controlling or trying to maneuver, even through your curiosity. Just let it all go and let the stillness guide you. And if you have any more room, and for your lunge, if you want to slide your stack or your yoga block out and take your forearms all the way down onto the ground, you can do that for about the last minute here. And it's really no surprise when you live in the moment, you're like, oh, so we were talking about and discomfort, and so it makes sense why I may be exposed into this experience and where it's highly likely that you are very uncomfortable right now. You relax to your heart space and stay with it as badly as your mind may be trying to pull you out. Last 30 seconds, if you need to flutter your lips and to stay in the release, flutter your lips. All right, everybody, go slow. Make your way back to your hands. And this is going to be worthy of a full-on lying down onto our backs, please. So hips back, slide your right knee behind you. You might be getting a lot of heat into your right leg. Swing your feet around to the right. Rock off onto your left hip. And go ahead and lie down onto your back, please, and to experience the rebound. and you say, what is really going on? And we're so good in our day to day of finding ways to hide. And when we need to, or when we're scared, or when we're unsure, and to have a place in your life, I mean, all we're talking about, you don't even need the yoga mat. It doesn't even need a reference to a teacher or to a class description. Have a place in your being where you don't have to hide. That is a beautiful place to start. And notice that even after a couple minutes, your right side still feels different than your left side. You're doing some earth-shattering, groundbreaking postures tonight. And so if you're feeling it, please let yourself feel it. Whatever's in the flow, let it flow. Bend your legs so that your feet are flat again. And take your left arm up over your head, roll onto your left side. And come back into the fetal position on your left side. Use your right hand, please. Make your way over to all fours. And I've turned you around, so if you need to crawl back and grab your stack or your block, go ahead and grab it. And bring it back up to the now top of your mat that you're facing. Lean the right knee a little bit. Step your left foot into the side. And you can stagger the right knee, take a wider stance. And then turn your left toes out so they're more on a 45-degree angle. And rather than having ahead. It's like that a line going off your left shoulder towards the top left corner of your mat. You're welcome to stay on your hands. You say medium height, not as far as you can go, but a medium descent. If you want to come down onto your forearms on your stack, you're welcome to do that. And keep the weight in the hips, reduce the strength in the legs, and you'll feel it more that way, and then let your head drop. And the pure foundation of this practice, sitting in compression and sitting in a resistant place inside of yourself is probably the most challenging thing in that you can do. And it would be challenging to do it for 10 seconds, which most people don't even allow 10 seconds. So when you're talking about 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, not only can it be a powerful flow that you witness, but it can actually change some pretty deep-rooted perspective that you have associated with your life, the world that you live in, your reality. And what you're doing here will probably impact in the way you think, the way you function, your forthcoming actions that are hopefully a little bit more rooted in the present moment versus a reaction into something that has either taken place before or we got it going. If you can go any, you can slide your stack out. And go forearms all the way down. And then dive in deep. Let the head drop. And the shoulders release. Relax the belly. 1 minute. $30 if you want to take a breath and flutter your lips. And keep the neck loose. Use the head like a weight, taking you all the way down. No rush. Use your hands. Be present for all the sensations coming up into your left leg. Start to slide the hips back as you bring your left knee behind you. Again, you may get a good amount of burning sensation. And once you get your knees back, rock off onto your right hip. And turn the legs all the way back out in front of you. And so we can give this a proper rebound. And go ahead and lie down onto your back, please. I'll remind you, at one time there were minutes where your right leg just didn't feel the same as your left leg. And now we get to indulge ourselves and to watch this release on the left side of your body change. You feel if tonight you have not only surrendered through some of these moments, in previous idea, condition, way of thinking, but that you've also given some life and some light, an element of rebirth, hope, excitement into whatever is coming next. and then expanding that. And so it's not only about you and everything that has taken place inside of you tonight, but it begins to encompass what we've been taken through and the opportunity to connect so far and so wide and beyond geographic places. We never thought we could all exist together at the same time. Well, we're doing it. It's happening. You're welcome to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you'd like. It's feeling really calm right now. There's a lot of storms that are coming up when I asked you and to acknowledge everything that was a part of this day. At the beginning of our practice, there's a lot of storms, there's a lot of energy, and it's not easy to be one that is open to processing all the energy. But as we look into the fulfillment of this life, the gratitude of this life, we can't live in the privilege of denying certain things and then welcoming certain others. And it's why I propose to open ourselves so that we can feel every last bit of it. And how you get that information, it's probably going to be somewhat unique for all of us. And so be patient with yourself. And take care and support each other. And you're already taking that step by contributing to all these practices and being here on your mat. So I thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your night. And I hope to see you on a Sunday morning for a flow practice and where we can charge and plug in and see where we can go with it. And of course tomorrow night for Detox, everyone. And peace and love. Have the best rest. Namaste.